All right, guys, just finished at the gym. So I got to get back on track with the dividend investing. I've been kind of slowing down my buying because SCHD's been going up the past couple days. And then, man, do you guys see Bitcoin's at 95,000? I'm a little behind on videos. Bitcoin's at 95,000. I'm a little behind on videos. Check out that Bronco. It's pretty cool looking. But, man, it's got brown leather interior. It says Stallion on it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so Bitcoin is at 95K today. I don't know what day this will post, but what I'm getting at is, if you're wondering why, it's kind of weird because you got two things. You kind of have a catch-22. You have the government saying Bitcoin's part of the mainstream economy now, and America's going to be the crypto superpower of the world. And then you've got JP Morgan with Connexus, or however the hell you say their blockchain. It used to be Onyx. And they have JPM coin, and they're building their own interoperability protocol too, kind of like a Chainlink. I was so bullish on Chainlink, but to be honest, when I saw that within 12 months, they already made like their own interoperability protocol where they can interact with other banks. I started realizing, I'm like, dude, I don't know. This whole Web3 thesis might not be what we think. Since 2016, I've been saying, dude, if the institutions buy into crypto, it's gonna skyrocket. But I'm starting to realize they're just building their own private chains, their own private interoperability protocols. I don't know how it'll work with smart contracts and that side of things. Maybe Ethereum and Chainlink will be in use. I don't know. But what I'm getting at is the whole thesis around XRP moving money around. Maybe that will happen. I don't know. Right now, they seem to be fine just using their own stable coin on their own private blockchain. It's kind of like all the crypto projects we've watched for years kind of just showed them what's possible, and now they're just creating their own versions. I don't know though, I could be totally wrong, because Chainlink has cross-chain interoperability, so we can work with like Ethereum, Avalanche, JP Morgan's private blockchain. It also has a privacy layer. It also has Chainlink runtime environment, so they can easily create smart contracts. So you never know, maybe it'll be used. But if I was to buy one, I don't have really barely any crypto right now, but if I was to have crypto, I'd probably hold Chainlink. I don't know why, but mainly because it's chain agnostic. Not a lot of people have to fight over whether or not it would be used. Blockchain, like the blockchains we know of. Because now when I say blockchain, I'm thinking they've got their own blockchains now. They're creating their own club. I don't know if the teams that we've been rooting for are going to be included. AI bubble narrative starting to go around now. I see in headlines, AI bubble, are the valuations justified? I gotta say though, when you look at the Mag 7, they're a little frothy, but for example, like if you go and you use valueinvesting.io, Meta shows it's below its intrinsic value. So a lot of the Mag 7 did increase their earnings, they have real earnings. But I get what they're saying. As a whole, when a tiny portion of the S&P 500 holds most of the returns, that's really only happened 2 other times, and both times you saw a massive correction. And this isn't the same as that, probably. I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just saying that, I'm just talking about the narrative, But this could be different because these companies now have solid earnings, a lot of them. The Fed narrative around cutting rates in December is getting a little soft. So people are like, I don't know if we're gonna have that rate cut that's already priced in. So who knows how all this stuff's gonna play out. But this is a perfect example of what I've been talking about. Have a long time horizon, create a simple system, buy a low-cost index fund, and just dollar cost average over time, and stop watching the headlines and the talking heads on CNBC and all the thousands of YouTube videos, including mine, and just stay consistent. My channel's not really to pump a certain project or a certain thing. My channel's to mainly just have a team, or like a group of people, like a community saying like, yeah, dude, this is what we're all about. We're about time freedom, peace of mind, investing for our future, and just enjoying every day. You know what I mean? Sometimes I want to stop doing YouTube, but I think, man, I don't know. Kind of holds me accountable, keeps me pumped up with the investing, and stay consistent. So, and I like the Porsches and the people that like the turbos. Woohoo! Got a little squirrely. To get back on real time with my videos, I film so much more than I post because YouTube told me to post 1 video a day, and it says it'll do better for the algorithm, the click-through rate and the view duration, which it is true. Since I've doing the 1 a day, if you look at my videos before, I was getting like, I would do 2 or 3 videos a day. I'd get like 500 to 1,000 views on 1 video in a day, or maybe less than that. And then now it seems like I'm getting almost like 3,000 over 2 or 3 days. So I don't know if it's true or not, but the income is dropped with YouTube. From the ad revenue, it's actually dropped, the income. And it's because I'm posting less. See, I was going off of quantity and not so much off of quality. So I might dial it back up a little bit and just say screw the algorithm and just keep posting. Because I like posting in real time. And sometimes that means I got to post a couple videos a day. So who knows? It's just my pace I like. So I got a bunch of videos that I haven't even edited or filmed, like stuff I've recorded that I'm just like, I've got a bunch of videos that I haven't even edited and stuff I recorded that I haven't posted. And I'm thinking I'm going to jump ahead. This video will be like real time. So this is this morning. This is Friday morning. I'm posting this one in real time. And then I'll go back and post those after. Because I wanted to talk about the Bitcoin stuff because it's at 95K. And the other thing happened was SoftBank sold its entire NVIDIA position. So that was another thing. People were like, oh, why is it selling NVIDIA? And 2 subprime hedge funds just blew up like in 2007. So people are starting to wonder, you know, what is the tide about to go out? We're about to see a bunch of people naked, skinny dipping. We're pretty simple creatures, us humans, when you think about it. It's like this cycle just repeats itself. The debt gets cheap. We get excited. We take too much of it. The rates go up. You have to refinance on debt that has short terms, or you over leverage yourself and you can't make the payment because things change and the economy slows or inflation increases. And then it's the same old situation. Then we get called out on it. We can't pay. Things reset. Everything comes back down to earth. Valuations matter. Earnings matter. Fundamentals matter. Everybody gets dialed back in. And then it just repeats itself again and again and again. That's why I'm just trying to operate like I do if things are bad. That's why I'm just buying boring blue chip, nice slow dividend payers, and I'm having no debt, and I'm just keeping things simple. And I save when times are good, and I don't really spend when times are good or bad. I'm just trying to just stay consistent and stay dialed in and be smart and prepare for when the tide does go out. So then I'll be wearing a wetsuit. I'll be in the deep water diving looking for coral reefs. I made that video about, is Bitcoin really good to use as a savings tool for the long term, not the short term? I made a video a while back. I don't know if you guys remember that. Well, and then I made another video where I was saying it seems like Bitcoin just follows the NASDAQ. So it's kind of like, you know, after gold popped off and Bitcoin was just flat, you start to question, like, maybe it will be a store of value one day. I think a foreign country just put $1 million on their balance, in their treasury, but I don't know, on their balance sheet. I don't know what country it was. I had to look it up, but you can look it up. So there is little things happening in the background, you know, but it does right now just follow tech stocks and risk on assets. So is it a true store of value? I don't know. But I'll be honest, I'm like Buffett, dude. I don't know if I really want a damn store of value. I want something productive that gives me cash flow and income. You know what I mean? It's like someone saying, like, buy all gold and just hold it. I get it. You would have done really well. You would have probably outperformed the S&P 500, I think. But I want something that, the gold, I just want something that, I don't want to rest my head on the pillow and just know I got something buried in the ground. I want to I know I want to store my purchasing power over time, but I want to be able to live. I want to be able to operate in the present. You know what I mean? When I had that quality clothing brand on, when I was a kid, like not a kid, but in my early 20s, I was selling t-shirts. It was called Quality, QLTY, question limits, test yourself. And the slogan was live the current. Like in the current, but live the current like the ocean, like surfy. But what I'm getting at is I want to live the current, dude. I want cash flow. That's why I was so upset with the rentals. I thought, how did I get tricked into buying all this speculative stuff? And I thought, oh, I know. I sold the rentals. Then I thought I was going to buy Jeppy at the time. JEPI, QQQI, and all that stuff wasn't even out. JEPQ wasn't out. JEPQ. And I was like, I'm going to buy Jeppy. My life will be simple. I sold the rentals at the high. 2022, August, I sold them all. And I was like, you know what? And the rates were going up. I was like, I'm so smart. I'm like Robert Kiyosaki. I know what I'm doing. And then when I went to buy the Jeppy, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm going to have all my money in this JP Morgan income fund that has a high expense ratio and the dividends taxed at ordinary income. What in the hell did I do? And then I realized, I'm like, I only felt safe having this plus the rentals, because the rentals was my core, my backbone. So then I was like, then the money sat in there, and if you don't find a place for the money to go, it'll find a place for itself. So then I started dwindling the money away and putting it in different things, and I'm buying this stock, I'm buying that stock. And then I slowly got pulled away from cash flow and income, investing, and I got sucked into speculation and chasing the next flashy thing and watching headlines and CNBC and feeling stress every day. And that's why I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, that's not what I was into, dude. I'm going back to the old school. So I'm back on cash flow. Pretty much all cash flow right now. Right now it's just SCHD, but I might even get back into some rentals, dude. I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. It's a big day. Who knows? I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys.